This is a special request from Buck. Hello Buck, I know you're watching this, you've been looking forward to this. Buck is Mr. Buckaroonie YouTube channel. So you haven't seen his channel, guys, check it out. He wants to see a cake baked in this. He asked for a photo. We're going to do one step better. Buck, it's a video. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to beautiful Gucci Creek Escape. I'm away camping at the moment, so not in my backyard testing gear out. So actually using it. A classic carrot cake. I'm going to cook it in my Taste the Difference Air Roaster Pro here. You know, with my Air Roaster Pro, that I can't run it because of the limited in capacity of the draw of my Itechworld 120X. So if Steve wants to pan down there, you'll see my little Honda generator. So we're going to use the Honda generator, guys, but we're going to use it so it won't make up too much noise. I'm just going to run it so it just inputs a little bit, okay, to make up for the capacity loss of what this one can't produce. Because with this one I need to draw around about the 165 amps. This one max is 150, and that's on a good day. And as you know, some of my tests have shown it's more like 130, 140. So I'm going to limit it down to about 100, and the rest is going to be made from the generator. And it's all done by this Victron Gear, guys. If you want to know more about it, go back on some of my videos, but I'm going to have future videos talking more about that. So we're just going to keep this video short. Ingredients. We need 1 egg. Okay, 1 egg. Let's go up here. I've got a lot of eggs in here. Look how quick that is, guys. Look how quick that is. 1 egg, 150 ml water, 80 ml of vegetable oil, which is already in here. You see the vegetable oil. Loaf pan, 1 loaf pan. I actually had to look for that. I wasn't sure if I had it here. I had to search a car inside out. So now this is going to be a new one for me, guys, because I've never baked the carrot cake in here before. So we've also got some, what have we got here? Safiery made simple. Okay, I'll have a look at that. So we've got some icing that's on the top as well. So how cool is that? So let's get stuck into this in this beautiful location. The weather's starting to cool down. We're starting to get into this camping weather that I've been telling you all about. It's not weather to wear jumpers yet, but it's getting close to. I wouldn't be surprised if I'll probably be wearing a jumper tonight. So 150 mils water, which is around about that much. 1 egg, which is about that much. It's 1 egg. Now we are going to mix that by hand, and that's what I love about this mixture, guys. Mixed by a wooden spoon. So that's all we're doing now. This is awesome, this beautiful location here with this lovely breeze. It feels like a sea breeze, although we are so far away from the ocean, but what's coming through here now feels just like a sea breeze. So I think that's mixed enough now. So now we're going to pour this in the tin. So I've got a old bread tin here that I've lined with butter. I normally also use flour, but I don't have flour, so hopefully it will not stick. It may stick a little bit, but that's okay as long as we get most of it out the pan. We should be fine. We'll see how we go. So we're going to start this. We're going to start this generator shortly, and you're going to watch me do that. So I've got Stephen from FJ Camping and Touring behind the camera with me today. So how awesome is that? Gets a little bit tricky sometimes when you're on your own and you're trying to do a film, particularly when you forgot to bring your big tripod. Silly me, eh? Alright, as you know, when I make cake, I like to level it out like so. Shake, 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 shake. Shaky, shaky, shaky. Shake, shake, shake. That's it there. Hopefully, it's going to look like that. Now, Air Roaster Pro, as you know, let's get rid of my bread. Let's get rid of my iPad. As you know, with the Air Roaster Pro, we do not need to preheat because this thing pretty much preheats instantly. It is so quick. So it's perfect to fit there. Now, we're going to turn this off because right now we're going to go down to the generator, and I know Buck's looking forward to this. He loves the generator. He reckons he's going to buy one. Hey Buck, what do you reckon, Steve? You reckon Buck will get one?
Oh, you'll need one for that caravan.
You're going to need one, a caravan, Buck. When you go remote camping and you want to run that aircon, mate, particularly in that hot weather you got up there, I reckon you're going to need one of these, and they're really, really quiet. So let's start this up. And the easy start, Buck. I didn't put the choke on, so she's running fine now. See how quiet that is? So now, what we do now, we come over here. You can see my multi-control switch. So all I do now is turn that on. So that's going to cut in now. Have a look here. And very shortly, now it takes a little while, not long, because it's going through a testing phase, the Multiplus now. So now we're right, we're inverting, and we're actually going to start run on generator. And we're actually going to start charging the battery now, as you can see. Now I've got it set at 4.5. So that's alright. I'm going to leave it at that, guys. It's still pretty quiet. We got no one camping near us apart from Stephen. I don't think he'll mind, particularly after seeing what's going to come out of this. So let's, oops, oh, I've got cake stuck all on me. Okay, so let's put this on now. Wow, look at that, it's actually putting in about 78 amps in the battery. The reason it's doing that is because I've got the solar panels on, but guys, I can control that by turning this down. So I turn that down to 2.5 amps. That's now dropped down to 46 amps, 45 amps. You'll see the generators dropped down to 568, and you'll probably heard the generators a lot more quieter as well. You turn this up to about 5.5, maybe bring it up to 6, because I want to get that wattage right up for the first initial load of when I'm starting this oven. So we turn it on. All you do then with the Taste of Difference Air Roaster Pro, you've got a menu here, and one so happens to be a cake. So we'll hit the menu button until it's highlighted on the cake. It's a cake. Now we hit start. Okay, now you heard the generators just picked up right then, so it's a little bit louder, but as I mentioned before, we've got no one camping for quite a distance between us. The generator is now actually putting in 1534 watts. So what that means, it's actually still charging my battery, because I've got the solar panels out now, but although solar panels out, they're not doing a great deal at the moment because it's actually cloudy at the moment. We just had a shower of rain coming through, So as you can see now, I've got the limit set on 7. So you can see 7, 6.8 there. So I've got 1547 coming in here, and I'm going to leave it at that. That's good, because you can see my battery's still at 13.5, and I'm still charging the battery even though I'm running the Air Roaster Pro. Now this Air Roaster Pro, once it gets the temperature, and it'll get the temperature really quick, you'll see very short, it'll actually cut down the revs on the generator. So the Air Roaster, that's what makes them so economical, efficient on these 240 volt systems when you're off grid. We're drawing close to the maximum that continuously can input into the vehicle is 1800 watts, so we're on 1525 watts, and then we're assisted with the solar panels, so we're still charging the battery, which is awesome. You can see one of the solar panels is only inputting 30 watts at the moment, and that's the Safiery high voltage panel. There we go, you just see there now what that's just happened there. It's just cut down. So now what it's going to do now, it's going to start charging the battery. So you can actually see it's actually charging the battery at 64 amps. You can see how efficient that's working, guys. In fact, it's just cycled off at the moment. It'll cut back in shortly. That's probably going to take about half an hour to cook, maybe 35 minutes to cook. So you can see here the generator's putting in 960 watts. The Air Roaster Pro is now cycled off. You'll see it cycle on shortly. Shouldn't be too long, so it's not producing any wattage. So all these amps are going straight into the battery. There we go, it's just cut in now. So we're going into assisting mode. So there's 1604 watts now coming out of the Multiplus. 977 still coming from the generator. So the extra 625 so watts is generated from the inverter on the Multiplus. So what's coming through from the generator or shore power is going straight through, it's bypassing the inverters, going straight through and going into my little oven here that you see here through your 240 volt plugs right there. So that's how that's working. So you can see now there is actually 40 amps was discharging out of the battery. Now that the oven, the Air Roaster Pro, which is the air fryer, and it's just recycling, now that it's recycled, it's actually gone to heat, so it's cut out. Now as you can see, it's not there's no AC loads coming out. So what's coming from the generator now is going into the battery. Now normally that's probably going a little bit high for this particular battery. They recommend 50 amps, but for this short period it shouldn't be any problems. Now normally it actually charges around 50-55, and the reason why it's actually charging at 67 is because, as you can see, I've got the solar connected to here. And now the assistant is going to power assisting mode. So what that means is now the inverter's come and cut in, and now that's supplying around 625, 630 watts is now going into the battery. You can see that even though we've got that coming out of the battery, so you can see that that's 630 or so watts translates to around about your 43 amps or so on. I know my battery, my lithium battery, has got no problem whatsoever in handling that. As you can see, the voltage of the battery hardly changes. In fact, I can actually turn that down even further to limit the output coming out of the generator, which then will idle down, making it a lot quieter. Now, because we don't have anyone camping right next to us, I've got no issues now. I'm just going to leave it as is. So this is pretty well optimum how this is set up now. Ideally, probably the solar panels wouldn't be cut in. As soon as I stop filming, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to disconnect the solar panels and just go off the generator. And you can see it's actually charging the battery. There we go, you see now 1606 watts. So guys, this is a 1600 watt inverter I've got here. Now it's rated at 1600 watt if the temperature is 25 degrees Celsius or below, but you can see here the temperature is actually on 27 degrees. So the warmer the environment is, the less you're going to get out of your inverter, So that's very important, you must keep that in mind. So now you can see how efficient it is. It's just gone to temperature now. So it's dropped down and now it's, there we go, see that? Now all the power is coming from the generator. It's now charging the battery, going into the battery. So as soon as that oven cuts in, it'll use that power that's coming from either generator or shore power. It will bypass the charging mechanism and it'll actually go straight to my oven. Okay, you can see now, so you can see have a look again. You can see the inverter's running. I can see it's drawing 1600 watts. Normally it draws around 1550 watts. I do have a charger here charging some other stuff, so we're drawing a little bit more. As you can see, 6.9 amps is coming out of that right now. So you can see here now it's drawing out minus 39. Now what's happening, you watch this, the oven is just cut out and now the power that's coming in now, it's diverting that power, including what's coming from the solar charger, into the battery. So it's putting all that, now it's not as high as it was before because it's overcast at the moment. So you can see that. So by the time, if I had to start it on a battery, it's 100% charged. By the time this is cooked, that battery's still on 100% charge. Now if there were people, a lot more people camping nearby, closer to me, I would turn that down to about 3.5. That will drop that down to about 500, 600 watts, and that makes a big difference to the noise then. As you can see, just cut in right now. Now you can see it's drawn out of the battery, because now I can turn this generator straight up. Now for example, if I turn this right up a lot higher, okay, you'll see the limit. I just turned it up to 8. I don't know if you heard the generator went a bit louder. Now you can see there's more coming out of the generator. There's less coming out of the actual inverter. As you can see now, it's only discharging at 11 or so volts. So I'm going to set that back down to 4.5. I find 4.5 is ideal. So it's just a great combination, and also assists on the efficiency of your generator on fuel consumption as well. So I thought I'd just show you a bit of an outlay, you know, exactly how this works. I'm going to have another video on this one day to show it more in detail. Now have a look here. I don't know if you can see there, probably won't show up, but the cake is coming along quite nicely. It says we've got 21 minutes to go. That's probably about spot on. So it's been cooking in 10 minutes at the moment at 180 degrees Celsius. So it's 30 minutes later. So the oven's just switched off, so it's on a timer. When she's fully cooked, she switches off. You can hear the generator now. It's on the lowest idle as well. The battery's on 100% charge. So as I mentioned before, that battery will be fully charged by the time this cake is cooked. So I don't need to run that generator longer than I have to. Now, as you know, I'm only running the generator because my Itechworld 120X will not support the amps that this oven draws. So guys, you've got to keep that in mind there when you're looking at, ideally you want something that can handle a 175, 200 amps plus, whereas the Itechworld is rated at 150 amps, but in our climate, though, I'm finding more like 130 is the ideal for it. Certainly 100, no problems at all. So it'll run your inductions and all that okay, but if you want something as big as this in the Air Roaster Pro, then you will need to use a battery that's got a BMS in it that's capable of discharging continuously 175 amps plus. Now in saying that, guys, this mob here that sells this particular type of oven, which is a TV shop online, something like that, when you find they've got stores around around the country, they actually got a new version there. It's a different manufacturer, but they've got a new one that's come out that draws 1300 amps instead of the 1550. Now I reckon that one will work with the Itechworld battery, but you got to make sure you got an inverter that can handle that. And I know this one of mine I got here would handle it no problems at all. Now that would be perfect for this setup that I've got here. The only problem with it, it's a lot bigger than this. It won't fit in this space. You can see here I've got my oven, Air Roaster Pro oven here, and beside that, just to the left, I've got my coffee machine. Okay, now let's have a look at this cake, shall we? Oh yeah, I'll tell you what guys, if you can smell it, it's just awesome. So there you go, Buck. That is certainly well and truly cooked. So there's our cake. So we've got a really nice carrot cake here. I'm going to let that cool down in the tin for the next 5 or 10 minutes. We'll take it out of the tin. Hopefully it'll come out in one piece. Okay, no guarantee it will. Normally I find to use butter and some flour with it as well, and both of them combined assists with the removal of the cake out of this tin. We don't have any flour here this time. I'll make sure I'll bring it next time. But we'll see how we go, and I'm sure it should come out mostly in one piece. So I'll let this cool down for 10 minutes and then we'll come back and have a look. Here we are guys, look at that. I don't know about you, I reckon that looks pretty good. It's been about 10 minutes. I don't know, fingers crossed. You reckon it's going to come out? Let's have a look. Whoa, oh how nice is that? Hey, I think that's a success. Oh look at that. Tell you what, this nice cool breeze is cooling down really quick. So, as I mentioned, this is the first time I actually make this carrot cake. So it's also got some icing on the top. And I don't know about Steve and Annie, but I like icing on top of the cake. So I'm going to put the icing in there. So let's do that right now. And then we'll have to give this time for this to cool down. Then we put the icing on the top. And then what do we do next?
Eat it.
We eat. Like we always say, we eat. So let's have a look. 1 tablespoon of milk, and I just so happen to have milk in the fridge. Got plenty of milk, so we'll grab a tablespoon. You see how this system just works so well. That's what I love. Starting to get, you know, working out a place to put everything. I know where everything is, and it's quick. That's what I love about it. Where I put the lid. Well, I'm talking about know where I put everything, and then I'm looking for a lid. But look how quick that is. See guys, it's quick as that. That's what I love about this. It's so quick to access anything. Now we need some butter. Oh, butter. Let's grab some butter. Don't have to spend half an hour opening up a conventional fridge. Just like a kitchen at home. So what do we need? 40 grams of butter. Okay. I just so happen to have a gram scale. So I'm going to go grab this gram scale and we're going to weigh out 40 grams of butter. Easy access. See that? Now beauty of this one here, I can put it on there, set this on here, take that off there, turn it on, and it'll automatically zero out. So now that's shown 0. Hang on. Murphy's Law, eh? My gosh, the screen is so... What's it? Ounces. Man, I'm not in America. Grams. Here we go. We're in grams. Goodness me. Let's zero that. Now we're on 0. So I forgot how much do we need. Alright. 40 grams. So Buck, don't know if you're still watching. You're still working out pretty good, eh? 30 grams. Good guess. That was pretty close, eh? It was pretty good. Okay. 32. Might need a bit more than that. It's just going to be too much now. 50 grams. Told you, be too much. 43 grams. Okay, a little bit more. There we go. See how we go there. The wind has blown this and it's actually changing. Put that a little bit back. There we go. 41. That'll do. 41. Alright, let's turn that off. Put this in here. And then, of course, let's put this away here. Don't have to turn the camera off because it takes so long to get to the fridge. That's the beauty. And guys, note, even though I managed to do some forward driving coming in here, I didn't have any exploded cans of soft drink. Like some of you thought I was going to have. No problems at all. And no, you saw that I opened the fridge and nothing fell out. So, alright, in there. Now we're just going to mix this up. So, what I'll do here, guys, I'm going to wait for this butter to melt a bit. So I'm just going to leave it sit out here because it'll be a lot easier, I think, to mix this up. Actually, it's actually coming along. It's working. So you can see there, I don't know if you can see there what I'm doing. I'm just using the back of the spoon. And that's not far off being ready. Let's get some of that stuff on the bottom here. Won't have to worry about this melting because it's nice cool breeze coming through here at the moment. There we are, icing all made up. Spot on. We'll leave that sit there. Wait till this cool down. If we put that on there, it's just going to melt. We'll put that on, so we'll come back later, put it on, and we're going to eat. Okay, guys, here we go. About 15 minutes later, been sitting down there under the Snow Peak medium hexatarp, enjoying this cool breeze. And this has cooled down enough. Very nice, very uniform. Probably could have taken it out a few minutes earlier. It's just a little bit overcooked on the top, but it's perfect on the rest. It's not bad, not bad. Very good for first attempt. So we've got the, what do they call this? It's the icing. What sort of icing is this? Don't know. It's like a vanilla icing. So now on the packet, I want to mention too, these air roasters cook a lot quicker too. On the packet it says to cook this for 40 to 45 minutes, and that was cooked in, look, half an hour, guys, and I could have got it done probably down to taking a few minutes off that. So that's the thing. Now I'm going to do some videos. I've got plans to do some videos comparing cooking with the Air Roaster Pro with probably the most popular camp oven that you can get. Any ones of the 12 volt, such as your Travel Buddy, your Kickass brands, and what's the other main popular one? Can't remember what they're called now.
Travel Buddy.
Yeah, Travel Buddy is the main one here in Australia. Of course, it's an Australian manufactured one. And it just so happens I do own a Travel Buddy. So guys, but I haven't used it since I got this 240 volt setup. So I've got two air fryer ovens here. I've got one that's a little one, about 3 litre. It draws maximum 1000 watts. So it's excellent for one person or food for the kids while you're travelling on the road. And there's no difference the way it cooks. It cooks just as quick as what that one does, except a lot smaller volume. So always you can do your chips in this, you know, for example, when you get your frozen pies and so on, they cook a lot quicker as well. And of course you don't have to preheat. It does a very good job of cooking roasts, etc. Makes it nice and moist. There we go. Okay, let's get a nice little close-up of that. This is one's just for you, Buck. Have a look at that. And while you're having a look at that, I'm going to taste test this icing. Yum. So there you go. Cooked, out camping, off grid, no power, just generating our own power, and we cooked a nice little cake of this. So I'm going to share this with Stephen and Annie. And actually, before we do that, let's slice one open. I'll let you guys have a look, and then we'll call that quits on the video.
Phil,
And then for you, Buck. Yep, Steve.
I have one, what you should have with it,
Yeah,
cappuccino and cake.
cappuccino. Oh, guys, it's a good idea. As you know, I've got the cappuccino machine here, so I'll fire that up shortly and have a cappuccino with the cake. Brilliant. So let's oh, look at that. And we won't need a chainsaw to cut it.
Oh, yum.
Look at that. So that's cooked perfectly. Have a look at that. That is ideal. So a little bit messy here. Presenting quite nicely on the plate. Oops, didn't cut that one not perfect. Oh,
Need a bigger knife, mate.
I got a nibble on that later. Do have a bigger knife there. That's alright. I've already dirtied this one. Oh, hang on. Geez, I'm getting messy here.
I reckon that's plenty. Keep a bit.
Look at it, guys. It's
Right,
cooked so fast it's falling apart.
I think it's more the knife.
There, guys. I should have got the better knife out. But here's the result here. So, actually, we should have took a photo of it and sent it to Buck beforehand. But what we do is get a couple of pieces and put on the plate with the cappuccino. And I'm going to photograph that, and I'm going to send it to Buck very shortly.
Bit of gratuitous B-roll.
Yeah.
Isn't that what Fire to Fork guy says?
Yeah. And look, this is nice stuff. I'm going to finish this off. So it's very nice. Now you can bake your bread. You do fresh bread like this, so if you're off grid, of course, the initial costs, yeah, true, air roaster going to be a lot cheaper than your travel buddies and that, but don't forget you got the initial cost of your inverters, your batteries that are suitable to run all that and so on. So you got to factor that in. But if you already got that, you might as well take advantage of it. Go and pick yourself up a cheap air fryer, and they cook brilliant. I'm very impressed with it. In fact, I use this one. You see here, I use this one in the kitchen at home. That's how good I think it is. Lately, every time I've been cooking the roast, I cook it in here because it comes out really nice and juicy, and it's very easy to do too, especially if you're using those Bluetooth thermometers. So I do actually have one here, and I so happen I actually do have there is a roast down there. There's a pork roast down there. I was going to plan to cook this weekend, but we never got around it. So I'll probably cook that at home, and I'll cook it in here and might do a quick video on that as well, and within the next, I'll have that uploading within the next week or two. So guys, thanks for joining me. We're going to go and we're going to, I can't wait. It's really nice. I like carrot cake. If I used a proper knife it would have been better, but nice, isn't it? I think it's cooked perfectly. So guys, excuse me while I'm chewing. We've got one more night here. We're at a place called Gucci Creek Escape, not too far from where I live, and not too far from where you guys live too. So it's about, 2 hours for them, close to 2 hours for me. It's 150 k's just south of where I live. 600 acre property, so it's a working cattle property, so there's cows there, and the cows are friendly, so they just, it's like, I think they're used to seeing people, and so it's as if we're not here. So it's got great facilities, creek, you can go swimming, you can go to canoe. They've got platypus here too, apparently I've heard. So it's a beautiful part of the country near Tyro. That's where we are now if you're wondering. So we're not in the backyard, we're actually cooking out in the field using this 240 volt. And I've got 550 watt of solar panels, as I mentioned before, set up at the side there, and they've been great. It's minimised the use of the generator. I've only had to run the generator while I'm cooking this, and as I said before, it's only because the battery is not capable of running that there. The inverter is, just the battery is limited on its discharge. So if you're looking at a system like this, something like this, you make sure you get your battery that's around 175 200 amp plus discharge, and then you'll be laughing, you won't have any problems then. So guys, till next time, look after yourself, be kind to everyone. If there's any questions, just ask below. Please subscribe if you haven't, it'll help my channel a lot, and put a like on the video. So till next time, cheers. I'm gonna go and enjoy this now.